What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We're breaking down UFC 288. It's the big card of the month. And as always, go down, like, and subscribe before you hop into this action. Comment your picks and bets of the weekend. I'm Paul, pick 'em, win 'em, Contra, and I'm joined with.
You already know it's your boy Kev, Water Boy Savoy, you feel me? And as you already know, it's your boy Street Fight enthusiast, slightly living his best life, you feel me? And I keep shaking, man, because I expected this card to be the cringe fest. You got UFC 288, headlined by my dog, Aljamain Sterling, aka Aljamain the Vet, via my dog Romeo Mac. Motherfucking versus Henry Triple C Cejudo. And it kind of is what I've expected, but at the same time, not. I was expecting a lot more cringy moments. I feel like they've had a lot of conversations outside of like a press conference. Like I literally was on YouTube just typing in DC, and I seen Daniel Cormier pulled up with Aljamain to Henry Cejudo's house,
I was
and they just had them.
definitely been talking a lot outside of the actual pressers and stuff.
Yeah, like they've been pulling up. So I don't know. I don't know if these dudes don't like each other. Like that's what's fucking me out. I feel like they might hug before the fight. But at the same time, you seen the parts where they be beefing?
I saw some of them and like they're little shit talk to one another where they're going back and forth and Henry Cejudo's just like, what are you gonna do? What's your game plan? I already know your game plan. Like this is like over they're on FaceTime with each other.
I seen a couple of maybe because I watched the countdown, but I seen a couple of situations where they had to get like removed because they was like starting they was rapping and shit.
Well, these little
So
ass
I don't know if they're selling the fight really well or them boys is going back and forth. But this is gonna be a good one. This entire card is gonna be a good one. Where do you want to start at?
oh man. I mean, there's so many good fights. Even on the prelims, we don't have to talk them, but just to shout out, Phil Halls is on the prelims going up against Ikram Ali Sirkov. Phil Halls is a dog. He's an underdog. He was a dog. He be knocking shit out. He's fun to watch. And then even the women's fight before the Marina Rodriguez versus Werner Gerardo gonna be a close one. Both Brazilian, both got black belts. BJJ, both pretty fun fighters on the way up in the women's strawweight division. So it's kind of see who's the better of the two on their way up. And then
Right.
my boy Chaos Williams, big motherfucker, be knocking shit out. This strongest shit. He's on the prelims going against Rolando Badeo. Chaos Williams is a massive favorite. I like him in this spot. I mean, just add him to all the parlays. And then right the fight before we talked because we're gonna start with the feature prelim, Drew Dober versus Matt Frivola. But don't miss Kennedy, Check Chu versus Devin Clark. Devin Clark's a wrestler,
I've
big
heard of Devin Clark.
yeah, like he's a notable name that's on resumes in the light heavyweight division. Good wrestler, a good test. And Kennedy, I mean, not a wrestler. He's mainly a striker, but these are two big, strong dudes, and it could turn out to be a very fun fight. So like that's another one. Like this whole card, start to bottom. Don't miss it. Early prelims. There's names all over the place. There's gonna be upcoming prospects. It's a fun fight all weekend here.
Mm-mm-mm. Nah, I fuck with this one. This is gonna be a great card. Um, what fight do we want to get into first?
Matt Steamroller Freevola on the featured prelims, 813 South Tampa Gracie student himself. Billy Q didn't represent too. I mean, Edson Barbosa KO'd him, but Matt Steamroller, he, I mean, I think he's the best fighter out of South Tampa Gracie. So like he's putting the whole Tampa MMA scene on the map here right now, and he's a slight underdog, and like he's just been I don't want to say steamrolling, but he's been an electric fighter. He just be back to back first round knockouts. His loss to Terrence McKinney was a first round knockout, so you could say three back to back for three first round knockouts in a row. But every time it is electric, it's fun. And then Drew Dauber went from it's his story almost ending in the UFC kind of thing, where he was on a few fight, he was a back to back losing streak. It was the Islam, it was the Brad Riddell, and people were kind of like done with him. And then he turns it around and gets a fucking first round knockout of Terrence McKinney, and then gets a third round knockout of Rafael Alves, and then gets a second round knockout of Bobby Green in his last fight. And he's just kind of, and neither one are ranked, I believe. Maybe Dauber's ranked 15, but this is a fight where both are electric, both like to stand and bang, both are very good at standing and banging, and both have seemed to have a very solid chin other than Frivola getting knocked out. But I think it's gonna be, I think fight of the night right here, featured prelim. Should have been on the main card.
So I follow Frivola, Steamroller on Instagram, on Twitter, and the second this fight's been announced, he's been posting. He's been showing his workouts. He's been showing he's staying active. He's been showing that he's grinding hard. So like, and he's from Tampa, so you know who I got. But I can't wait to see this fucking fight because Drew Dober's been explosive for a little second now. Because all those fights were in a row, he's like on a 3-5 win streak, isn't
he? 3-5 win streak.
All KOs. Crazy. That boy's a problem right now. And this is gonna be a good fight. I want to see because Frivola just has some good wrestling, doesn't he?
Yeah, he averages about 2 or 2.5 takedowns a fight. He does have it in his back pocket. He has shown also, like, if you want to stand and bang, like we can do that too. Like, he just seems to be like a Kevin Holland type of fighter where he just wants to get the crowd going if he can.
Yeah, I fuck with bro, and I'm rooting for him. This is gonna be a good one. And I think the card, if the crowd comes like they're supposed to, there's gonna be crazy high energy this whole card because this prelim is lit itself.
100%. I said it should have been on the main card, but it's kind of hard to put on the main card. The main card's stacked. But my pick for fight of the night will be this Drew Dauber versus Frivola card. Fight.
We'll see, man.
I'm gonna be rocking with Frivola too. Cannot not pick my 813 guy. And then the first fight on the pay-per-view card, Kron Gracie, yes, of that Gracie family. 5-1, going up against Charles Jourdain. Jourdain is a -180 favorite, whereas Gracie is the +155 underdog. Gracie's 5-1, coming off of he has 2 fights in the UFC, 1 win, which is over Alex Caceres with a submission, and he also got a unanimous decision loss to Cub Swanson, which is a UFC vet, not a bad loss in one of your first fights in UFC, but maybe this is kind of like the fraud check that some people like to call. Charles Jourdain, last time we saw him, it was a unanimous decision loss to Nathaniel Wood. Remember when I was calling him Big Wood, Nate? He laid the wood on my boy Jourdain, and I mean he's one of the better prospects in the division. No harm, no foul. But then he lost that decision loss to Shane Burgos before Shane Burgos left for the PFL, who also lost his PFL debut. So there's a little grain of salt in all those little background of this fight. How do you see this one?
Damn, I'm trying to see what's up with that boy Kron Gracie. I mean, I've seen Charles Jourdain's name before. I don't really think he really done anything, make me like a super huge fan. But I want to see what the fuck Kron Gracie got going on.
He came over from Ryzen. He got 3 wins in Ryzen, all submissions, 2 rear naked choke, 1 triangle. Came over here in 2018, went up against another prospect, Alex Caceres, and got the submission over him in the second round. 4-0 was looking, or 5-0 was looking pretty damn good until Cub Swanson gave him his first loss. But that was in 2019. We haven't seen Kron Gracie in the fucking UFC octagon or any octagon since 2019. So I got question marks on that. He is still younger. He's 5-1. Oh, he's not younger. He's 34. So like, I don't know how to really view him. I'm gonna pick him because, I mean, Shane Burgos was able to get Jourdain down on the ground, and I think Kron Gracie might find some ways to get it. Plus, I'll never bet against a Gracie.
Yeah, I want to see what's up with Burgos. He's like 34 though.
Yeah, he's not as young as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm. But he averages 0.88 takedowns in 5 fights. So that means he gonna shoot a little bit versus Charles Jourdain, who averages 0.12.
Then our next fight, neither one of these fighters were on the card to begin with. Both were fill-in fighters for opposite opponents. Bryce Mitchell versus, I can't remember who he was fighting, but the first guy pulled out. Then Movsar Evloev stepped in, and then Bryce Mitchell, as of today, pulled out of the fight. Now it's Diego Lopez versus Evloev. Evolov's gonna be a massive favorite here. I mean, just smash Evolov here. He's a fucking 16-0 Russian killer. He's the truth. I think he would have beat Bryce Mitchell as well. So like, no need to really talk this fight. I think it's gonna be a big mismatch in the octagon.
That's real now.
Then the women's fight before we get into the co-main event is Jessica Andre versus Yan Sanyon. Jessica Andre coming off a bad loss to Aaron Blanchfield where she kind of got dominated, whereas Zanon is coming off of a majority decision win over Mackenzie Dern late last year. I haven't seen her since.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that was a kind of a
it should have been
a cool fight.
In my opinion, it should have been a unanimous decision, but she beat Mackenzie Dern, definitely beat, bro. But Jessica Andrade is really trying to set up to have probably one of the most, at least busiest motherfucking years this year. Like, she just fought in February. It's May. She's fighting again. And she fought before that.
January. Yeah, no, she had like a 2-week where she fought Blanchfield. It was crazy.
And I want to say she could fought on some, and then before that, she had like submission. She had one of the submissions of the year with that standing, not armbar, but whatever it was. Shit was standing, whatever it was. Motherfucking, she's the problem. She's only. I want to see how she comes back from this Aaron Blanchfield fight because she did get dominated, but I think she can beat the Yan Xian because even Mackenzie Dern was trying to figure out something to do against her, even though Mackenzie Dern was just trying to really BJJ her way out of this. But if Jessica Andrade is over this cracking your ass, you're gonna feel it. And as long as the titty don't slip out, it should be straight.
And Zahn is gonna stand up. And Jessica Andre, outside of Blanchfield, who completely like took her out of her stand-up game, I don't think anyone else in this division can do that. I mean, Zahn's gonna have to show me something if she can, if she's one of these elite fighters in the division. I don't think she is. But we'll see. There's gonna be a test. I got Jessica Andre all the way here, though. The co-main event: Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. Everyone says whoever wins this fight got the right at a title shot at Leon Edwards if Colby Covington isn't named. So potential #1 contendership fight here. Remember the name, Belal Muhammad 22-3, slight underdog. This is a pick'em. He's at plus 100 odds. Gilbert Burns 22-5, minus 130 as of right now. Kev?
I'm mad they
Burns in person.
Nah, that so like, and that was less than a month ago, and he's already doing this shit again. So respect to Gilbert Burns, definitely. But motherfucking, I'm just mad that they didn't just book the fight Kobe versus Belal like immediately. Like they could have skipped the whole. Oh, Kobe, no, they could have just booked this fight, and that would have been the #1 contendership. And no matter what, after Kamaru Usman, the winner of that fight, they couldn't do that. They had to make my dog Gilbert fuck up everybody. Like he's really been going through all the hitters in the division, and he's showing. So like this fight's gonna be interesting. How do you think Belal? But what answers does Belal have to somebody that's versatile and can do everything dangerously and viciously like Gilbert Burns?
See, that's a question I've been asking myself because I want to say Belal may win this fight, but none of his opponents has had like the complete package like Gilbert Burns. Like his 4-fight win streak after the Leon Edwards no contest. Sean Brady, okay, we know is a wrestler. Belal Muhammad happened to be the better striker of the two and completely pieced them up. Didn't even have to hit the mat. Luque, I mean, yeah, he has BJJ in his back pocket, but Belal's just gonna like Colby Covington you, to sit on you and grind you out, not really try to overcommit to anything where you can catch him. That's exactly what he did. Wonder Boy, stand-up fighter, took him down, just wrestled him, and then Damian Maia, the same thing how he beat Luque. I'm just gonna grind you out. I'll strike with you on the feet. Damian Maia is arguably one of the best BJJ He's top 2 BJJ practitioners ever in the UFC. So like, he didn't want to go crazy on the mat with him, so he was kind of smart with how he took him down. So like, that's the only fight where I could see like, okay, he was able to take Maia down, and Maia wasn't able to submit him. Of course, there's a way older Damian Maia already about to retire and everything. But Gilbert Burns, I would say that's Belal Muhammad's wave victories. How he beat Maya. But I don't know. Burns is a way more deadly of a striker on the feet. We have to respect his power and everything than what Damian Maya was. So even then, that's not even the fair comp for what Gilbert Burns is. I think this is his first fight where he's really going against somebody who is deadly on both aspects and has got insane power. Whereas Wonder Boy didn't have the same power as Gilbert Burns. Luque doesn't. Luque's better. They're more crisp, but they don't have the power of what a Gilbert Burns shot to the jaw is going to feel like.
That's facts. That's facts. Because I definitely got Gilbert Burns. I'm a Brazil. But I just didn't see. I feel like Bilal's no slouch. I just don't think he's ready to beat somebody like Gilbert Burns yet.
He's been training with the Habibs and them at AKA. He's with the. He's like he's trying to make himself like another Dagestani warrior, even though he's not from over there. But that's what he's kind of fights like. I'm not. I'm never gonna go up against my boy Gilbert Burns. I'm picking him as well. I'm gonna be betting on him as well. But I could definitely see this fight going kind of ugly. Whereas Belal Muhammad just sits on him, and Gilbert's okay with being on his back and never catches him in anything. Like then that whole round was a waste because now you just let Belal sit on you for 4 minutes, and that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. I'm hoping if Gilbert's on his back, he's going to actively scramble to get into positions where he can get submission.
No, that'd be fire as fuck. And finish this fight. You didn't finish the last one. Finish this motherfucker if you see it.
And then our main event of the night, we got the return of Henry Cejudo, 16-2, slight favorite, -115 against the current champion, Aljamain Sterling, Aljamain event himself, 22-3. Kind of made everyone that questioned him being champion in 2022. He definitely ended the year showcasing why he's champion and why you should never question it. With,
but why don't you tell motherfucking the UFC app they got Cejudo with the belt and Aljamain with no belt?
That's kind of insane. That's kind of insane. He got the split decision win over Jan, which he basically took his back for all like 3-4 rounds. I thought it was a unanimous decision win for him myself. And then the one arm TJ Dillashaw or one shoulder TJ Dillashaw that got ragdolled for 2.5 rounds before the KO came. So Aljo coming off a great 2022. Can he follow it up with an even better 2023 by beating arguably one of the best bantamweights ever, triple gold medal winner, self-proclaimed one of the greatest ever? So I'm gonna ask you that question, Kev. This is your guy. This is your weight class. These are your people right here. Let me know.
Say the question one more time.
Is he gonna have a better 2023? Not only is he gonna win this fight, or first, that's my question. First question. Who do you got? Do you think Aljo's gonna come in? He's a slight underdog, even though he's champion. How do you think he's winning? You think he's
I'm gonna send you some money. I'm gonna need you to bet at least less than a couple units on Aljo if he's an underdog. That's crazy. People have really got respect on. I got Aljamain all day, but I didn't know people were respecting Cejudo like that. That's insane.
We haven't seen Cejudo since 2020.
Aljo facts, and I'm a firm believer. And there are exceptions to the rule, but I'm a firm believer. You don't get better at something by not doing it. I think he's an awesome coach. I think he does stay in the ring and he does stay active, but like that's just a whole different hat to have on. But I don't even think that's the issue. I think the issue is Aljamain Sterling. I think the shape that he gets into for these fucking fights like is insane. He definitely might be able to call him a weight bully. I didn't say nothing about Belal Muhammad because we know that boy be cut. So like you could say he's a weight bully, but really like this motherfucker just knows what he's doing. He cuts the right weight, and then he comes ready to fight for these fights.
This is the hardest fight I've had to pick in a little while. Now I'm like really invested.
Really?
Because all the signs point to like Aljo, like the fighters under 170 over the age of 35 or whatever, in championship fights are like 2-20. The only exceptions is Tyron Woodley. He's both of those two. And so it's like the age factor, especially in lighter weight classes, definitely plays a big role in a lot of fights. Chins go, speed goes, but like Henry Cejudo, Romeo Mack, I think said it. Like when he said it, I was like, damn, he might be right. He was like, like you wouldn't never question Michael Phelps versus the best swimmer right now. Like that's Michael fucking Phelps. That boy did the impossible when he got those like 12 medals in that one year.
No, that was insane.
Like Cejudo is the same thing because no one thought that was one of the biggest upsets in Olympic history and those Beijing Olympics when he upset that Russian. I don't even know what his name is, but it was that one Russian wrestler that weight class that was running shit for a while. And Cejudo comes in and gets the dub, and it was just like, holy shit! Like the boy was crying, and then he comes in the UFC and he beats the GOAT in what some people were saying in Mighty Mouse. And then he then goes up and then goes to weight class and beats TJ Dillashaw after TJ Dillashaw was shocking the world and like whooping everybody's ass in the weight class. So I'm just like, and he was on EPO. Motherfucker was on steroids and Henry Cejudo was whooping his ass. Like I think he might be the John Jones of little motherfuckers, bro. And for that reason, I'm going with Henry Cejudo. Like this might that like it is almost like that simple for me because Aljo's striking is not that good, but people have to be so fearful of him taking you down and taking your back that it allows him to do some striking. I don't think Cejudo's gonna be that worried, bro. I really think like one thing he knows is his back. It's almost like Ryan Garcia's left hook. All you got is taking people's back. And I think Cejudo, the master coach, game plan finder that he's been for these other fighters so far, he knows that better than anybody. And I think he's gonna wrestle and he's gonna dominate. Not dominate, I think it'll be a good fight, but I think Cejudo's wrestling, especially there's different tiers of wrestling. This motherfucker's a gold medal winner wrestler. I think he's gonna be able to counter what Aljo does. Like, okay, you can't shoot a takedown on me because I do it. Like I'll reverse it, and now I got my takedown type shit. Like I really like Cejudo here, and Aljo's never been a striker, so I don't see him like getting like a fucking piecing him up on the feet or something like that. So I everything else like the youth, who's been more active, who's the bigger guy, it goes to Aljo, and that's what I was gonna lean into. But my boy said like you don't ever question some of these. You don't question some people. You don't question when like John Jones returns. You don't question if Michael Phelps is returning. And I was like, damn, that might be true for Henry Cejudo.
Bro, you let comedian Romeo Matt corrupt you, man. You see how my light just turned off? Like I did not do that. No, that was the world saying, hey, play the Grammy music for him. Henry Cejudo is the John Jones of little motherfuckers. Don't get
If he
me
comes
wrong.
back off of this 2 year hiatus and just beats the current champ, that made the other champ look like child's playing their last fight. I don't know, bro. I might be the Jones.
Don't get me wrong. Henry Cejudo is probably one of the most accomplished combat athletes I've ever seen. To have just the fact that the first time I ever went on his page, I was like, yo, does this motherfucker have 2 belts? Oh shit, who the fuck is this guy? This guy, and he has a gold medal. Oh, and he has
Those
4
pictures
state
are so hard with the double belt and the gold medal on. It's like, man, there's no other fighter that can be able to do that.
Facts. He has 4 state championships. You can only get 4. He has motherfucking. He has He has what's that shit called? He was the youngest person to ever get inducted into the USA Wrestling Hall of Fame. And if you see everybody with that USA Wrestling tat, there's a lot of motherfuckers with USA Wrestling tats, but they're not in the USA Wrestling Hall of Fame. Like that's a big fucking deal. So like he's probably one of the most accomplished athletes I've ever seen all around. And then he conquers whatever sport he goes to. But this is 2023. He looked great against 2020, fucked up Dominic Cruz, and Dominic Cruz is on a tear. But nah, he's a great coach. He corners a lot of dudes to get great results. He cornered Figgy when he beat Brandon Moreno to get the belt back. But nah, Aljamain Sterling is just his pace. The fact that he knows that Henry Cejudo has to keep up with him. He doesn't have to keep up with Henry. He definitely has to dodge. He has to try not to get hit because Henry is a great striker. But nah, I don't think Henry's going to look old in this fight. I think Cejudo's just. I mean, I think Aljamain Sterling's gonna show that he's just him.
No, it's gonna be a great fight. I'm gonna say let's put a shot on it. Let's put a big drink, a big shot on this fight because it's a pick 'em odds. It's even Steven.
I like it, man. I got you on that one.
All right, and catch us live because we're probably gonna be live for this fight. You might anyone who's listening now, you might have to be there live to see the live shot Kev drinks. I don't care how fucked up either one of us is. Someone's gonna have to take a big old. I'm talking about a big geezer. All right, no little baby shots.
One of them spillers.
Yeah, one of them where you have to gulp twice. Like, oh fuck! Like, one of those
Bro,
shots is on the line this weekend. Not only
let
on
me
the belts.
let me make sure I got some Ciroc. I got some Tito's at the crib. Let me make sure I get some Ciroc for that one. But like, I'm not gonna need it. I'm gonna just have the Ciroc for celebratory purposes.
All right, guys, and stay tuned to the page because I may be posting some of my bets. I've been doing all right. I mean, I did good last week, did terrible the week before, but I killed it. I was on a spree before that, so hopefully this last week and this week I keep the things going. So I might be placing some bets that anyone wants to tail, but we're gonna be there Saturday for the pay-per-view for sure. We might even be there for the prelim fights as well because this card is stacked. It'll probably be with comedian Romeo Mack as always, and Bourbon and Bud MMA may be on with us as well. So stay tuned for UFC 288. We gave you your picks. We gave you the breakdown. Go down, like, and subscribe. Comment your picks. Comment your bets. And as always, this has been Paul Pickle Winham Concha, Kev Waterboy, Savoy, the street fight enthusiast. And if y'all didn't know, well, now y'all know, motherfuckers.